Special edition of the Blitz rolls on live from number 38 here in Rhino, as downtown Denver should be going off tonight as the Stars and the Avs get together in a must-win game for Colorado as Dallas tries to end the series. An all-hands preview of both the Avs and the Nuggets playoff game. We were joined by Nate Kreckman just a little while ago. Mike Sanford is in the building. Where'd Mike go? I just saw him. Sanford's here, though. Getting a frosty beverage, so he'll be around. But we are joined live from Ball Arena right now by Alex Ryanemi, who is joining us from the press level there at Ball Arena as he gets ready to host the Avs pregame show. Raj, how you feeling? What's the environment like there at Ball before this must-win game for the Avs?
Minutes from now is when you're going to start to see a large group of people start to filter in here at Ball. If you're asking me how I'm feeling, I have been a basket case all day. I had stress dreams about this game last night, and it has not gotten better throughout the day.
Wait, what kind of stress dreams were you having, man?
Like, I had a dream that an alien version of Matt Duchene scored a goal against the Avs, and then Mackenzie Blackwood made a big-time save with his glove, only to then drop the puck in the middle of the slot, turn around, and fire bar down into his own net. So that's where my mind was last night.
Okay, that's weird. Let's not go there. Let's
No.
not do. So, how do you think the Avs handled tonight's game? It's a must-win. They've been in this situation before. They know what they have to do, right?
Yeah, they've won 3 times in 6 opportunities in the Nathan MacKinnon era when they are facing elimination in a Game 6. They're 3-3 in those 6 opportunities. I do think they're going to respond very well. They have been, regardless of my paranoia or not, they have been, and Spring, correct me if I'm wrong, the better team in the series, just generally. And more often than not, the better team does come out on top of it. I think they're going to get the benefit of the whistle tonight. The power play can't continue to be as worthless as it has been through the first 5 games of the series. And you are in a Game 6, even though Cale Makar has been a shell of himself. I think that one of those things is eventually going to go their way. Either Cale turns into the greatest defenseman on planet Earth, or the power play goes from being worthless to worth something. And if one of those 2 things happen, maybe both of those things happen simultaneously, the Avs win Game 6, and we get the 2 best words in hockey.
Yeah, Game 7. Winner take all Game 7 on Saturday in Dallas with the Avs and the Stars. That's going to have some juice if the Avs can pull this thing off tonight. Spring, what do you think about tonight's game? I haven't asked you yet about the Avs-Stars collision this evening.
Well, I like the Avs to win. I mean, I told you about my sneaky hunch at double Game 7s. And, look, I hope I'm wrong for the Nuggets, and I absolutely could be because I was wrong about them the other night in Game 4. Or one of the recent games I was wrong about the Nuggets. After Game 3, when they got crushed in L.A., and I wrote them off. I finally did it. But, look, I think the Avs bounce back like they did Game 3 to 4. I think the Gabe Landeskog factor is very real. I think that they will be motivated. It's still a team, Dallas is, without Jamie Benn, without Miro Heiskanen. This was billed as a marquee matchup. It's a series on paper that everyone talks about that says could and should have been a Western Conference final. It's made for 7 games. I think the Avs get it done tonight and force Game 7, and then they'd have to prove that they can do something that they haven't done since Game 1, which feels like 6 years ago, and that's win in Dallas.
Something that no one has ever done, and beat Peter DeBoer in a Game 7.
Ooh, that's true. That's true. That is very true. You know what? Can we bring in Dan Tanner?
Yes, we can.
Let's bring in Dan Tanner. Dan's going to be hosting In the Paint tonight after the Nuggets eliminate the LA Clippers. But, Dan, I want to get your opinion on this Avs game first, man. How you feeling about that?
I'm feeling up pretty good. Val Nichushka needs to get going. That's for sure, Berto. Marty Necas, where's he been at? He's got to get going. And then Cale Makar. Those are the 3 guys that I'm really looking forward to seeing produce for the Avalanche tonight. If they can do that, they got a shot.
Let's ask the man, the myth, the legend, someone I haven't seen in a while. Mark Mosier joining us right now to talk about this game. He'll be calling this must-win game for the Avs. Moj, where's your head at, brother? How you feeling right now?
I'm feeling really pretty good, fellas. I've felt pretty darn good all day long. Let's look at it this way. Let's say you're on the outside looking in, right? Let's just say you're in, I don't know, Georgia, Savannah, Georgia. And what would the odds tell you? Is this series going 7 games? I mean, before the dang series began, we thought, yeah, it's probably going 7 games. So take the emotion out of it. So the hysteria of expecting out of it. And the Avs are at home. They're not going forward tonight. I think they're going to play a good game. I think they're going to push.
Hold on one second, Mo. Yeah, D-Mac, yeah, there you go. D-Mac was blowing you out,
I
Moj.
just muted D-Mac because we got some sound going in there.
Thanks, Darren.
D-Mac's doing live from courtside or ice level there at Ball. But Moj, let me give you one more question before we wrap. Who's if you could wave your magic wand, Mosier's magic wand, if you could wave it and have one Avs player have an outstanding game tonight to guarantee the win, who would it be?
It would be the future second-time Norris Trophy winner, Cale Makar, guys. I want to see him control the game on the back end. And he, when we've gone back, we built some packages for the pregame for tonight. He's actually played pretty damn well. I mean, he's got 48 shot attempts in this series. The problem is that Dallas is splashing out. They're forcing him a little bit wide. Ottinger has really made a good push on a number of different occasions to cut him off. But I want to see number 8 have a really good game. One of those games where he actually takes over on the back end. If he does that and that power play comes through, I'm telling you, we'll be talking to you from Dallas for Game 7 on Saturday. End of story.
All right, Moj, thanks for hopping on. We appreciate it,
All right,
brother.
dudes, I'm heading down. D-Mac, keep the seat warm. I'll be there in a little bit.
Yeah, give Rycroft a big hug for me, man. Thanks,
Okay,
I appreciate it. All right, let's bring in Darren McKee. D-Mac, right? What is this setup you got going, Darren? You
I got a pom-pom. I got a freaking pom-pom.
What's the environment there looking like for
Well,
you,
you
D-Mac?
can look at it right here. Nothing except that annoying dude. Can you see him with the Jamie Benn shirt on, sitting courtside?
Oh, no.
I saw it. Can you see him? Tell me if you can see him.
Yeah, go down there and
You
give
want
him
me to
some business, man.
What
Face
should I
wash
say?
that dude.
If you put a stick in his face, he will run into it.
Hey, Jamie Benn, if I put a stick in your face, will you run into it? He's not.
No
he's
comment.
not responding.
I was about to say,
he doesn't realize
I saw
what
he
an
turned around
awesome
and
joke
looked at
that
you,
is.
though, so I know he can hear you, man.
No, it's okay. It's all good. It's okay. You might fall over at any second. You're good. Don't want to make him. Can you imagine if I just went up to him like this and he would just fall over? Just,
Right.
Yeah, that pom-pom would take him out.
All right, so on your show, Berto, we have heckled a Jamie Benn fan right there. We got that done.
No, I appreciate
That
it. Appreciate it.
happens.
Man, listen, I'm here for that every day, all day, and twice on Sunday.
We got done.
You know what?
We got done.
You're at Ball Arena, but I want to ask you first about the Nuggets game. The Nuggets can eliminate the LA Clippers tonight. How are you feeling about this contest this evening at the Intuit Dome? All right, good. I'm glad we got that out of the way.
I think D-Mac's frozen.
Yeah,
You see, he's
he
frozen.
looks like he's considering my question deeply.
He is
but
you saw the still, what is now a still photo of D-Mac.
He looks like the thinker. You know what I mean
Exactly.
with that dude?
He is pondering life.
Well, there goes the Wi-Fi at Ball Arena, man.
That
Wi-Fi
happens
at
a
Ball
lot.
Arena is
When
out.
Raj does his post, when he does pipes at Ball, the Wi-Fi is not great there. So,
Dan, where are you at right now, man? Are you at your house, brother? Is that your own Nikola Jokic jersey you got on in the background?
That is.
That's a signed
DT's
Jokic jersey.
Signed Jokic jersey.
Wow,
What do you
bro.
think of that,
How'd you
Berto?
get that?
I
yeah,
won it
man.
from a raffle. We all know Springer wins most of the raffle stuff.
Yes,
Man, if it's
I
not
do.
Springer, it's Jesse. Jesse's won like 3 jerseys, bro. Although KJ won a signed Miko Rantanen jersey the other day, and I was like, yeah, KJ,
That
bro.
thing still has value. I mean, Mikko
eBay.
Rantanen is an Avs legend, right?
No, yeah, but it's yeah. Well, man, if
Not
he
right now.
scores tonight, he's not going. If he, you know what I mean. If he actually shows up for an elimination game, he's not going to be on the top of my list anymore. That's for sure, man. Dan, Nuggets Clippers, dice it up for us. What you thinking about tonight?
You know, I said this on my post-game show after their Game 5 blowout win, fellas. I think the Nuggets offensively have figured out the Clippers defense, because if you take a look at the games in this series, the Nuggets really, I mean, what did they score? 83 in game 3. Their point totals have been very low. Then they score over 130 in game 5, with Nikola Jokic only pouring in 13, shooting 4 of 13 from the field. So, look, I've always said my favorite version of the Nuggets, guys, is when Nikola Jokic doesn't have to be the primary scorer for this basketball team. When he can facilitate, especially early on in games, and get his teammates going, get their confidence level up, specifically guys like MPJ and Jamal, that's when this team is at their best. That's what they did in game 5. And I'll tell you what, guys, if Jamal Murray can play even close to what he did in game 5, that's what gives this team a real chance to compete for a championship this year.
Do you think it can be somebody else who steps up to it? Like, if Jamal gives you 30, that's more than enough for me. Matter of fact, if he gives you 20, something like that, that's more than enough for me. He doesn't have to drop 50 on these fools tonight, but he might very well do just that. But can you ask somebody else? Like, it feels like of all the Nugget players right now, the most beat up is Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon. So can you ask either AG or Mike to give you a big game knowing how banged up they are?
Well, I mean, honestly, Berto, AG, what did he have, 23 in game 5? So for Aaron Gordon, that's,
Yeah, he did. He was an efficient,
solid.
too. It was like 7 of 11 from the field, something like that.
Right. I don't think you're going to get that out of Christian Brown in this series. The transition offense, really, for both teams have been pretty stifled, and that's where CB obviously thrives. But I don't know, man. And credit to Michael Porter Jr., because he is gutting this thing out. And the fact that he's shooting the ball as well as he is with a bum shoulder is insane to me. But to me, it's Jamal Murray. I mean, that's what makes this team go. That's what takes them from a really good team to a really great team. When we have performances, when we see performances like we did in game 5, he's got to be the guy, in my opinion.
Dan, I'm glad you brought up Porter and his injured left shoulder, because I've talked with Berto about this, and I was thinking even more about it today. And I know that there is inherently a large difference between Porter nursing a sore off-shooting shoulder for like 3 or so days, whereas Gabe Landeskog missed 3 or so years. But when you see Gabe coming back from what he's come back from, and Porter playing through what he's playing through, I think in both cases, in both locker rooms, the teammates look at both those players and say, damn, look at what that dude went through. Look at what that dude is currently going through. And it just forces everybody to step their own games up, as Tyler Columbus has now joined the chat.
Looking good, man. Looking good. Did you just do your hair, man? Just for the Zoom
Nah.
chat? Because it looks good, bro.
Nah, I got a haircut this morning. It's still looking good from this morning.
Oh, nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I even worked out and everything.
You're ready. Well,
Hey, hold on. You want to know a funny story for you before we talk about Avs and Nuggets?
Yeah, let's
so
do it.
I did leg day today, okay? And I went heavy. I went real heavy, okay? So I'm walking out of 24-hour fitness today, and I can barely walk. I mean, like I got to go down these stairs, and this dude can't walk. So lo and behold, I do stumble, and I slide, and I fall, and I slide down these stairs. I got this dude standing right next to me, and naturally, some lesser human beings might be embarrassed by this moment. Not me. Yeah, not me. I turned to the dude. I said, "Hey, I burnt these suckers to the ground today. Did you even work out? Pretty sure we're besties today, even though that dude's a giant wuss."
No, man, I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, you would have no idea you're a professional athlete stumbling out of 24/7, can barely walk. When you're saying you went hard, like what kind of plates you putting on there? What's this weight look like with this leg workout?
I got 295 on squat, 5x5, 5 sets by 5. That was pretty solid, right? Went over to the leg press machine. Just did it. I mean, it was just like I'd maybe 400, like not a big deal.
So
just
he could squat
like
all 3 of us stacked on top of each other.
Yes, he can.
Well, that requires like extra ab work and stuff. I don't know about that.
How are you going to take in these 2 games tonight? Like, are you dual screening it? How are you going to watch these 2 tonight?
Man, I'm the worst sports fan when it comes to stuff like this because I hate multicast. I I don't like two TVs at once. I don't do that. I like to feel the game, And you cannot really feel a game when you're watching two games at once. So I hate that. So my plan is I'm going to go heavy on hockey. Actually, even though I'm more of an NBA guy, admittedly I like basketball more. I'm going heavy on hockey, and then we got some long intermissions there where I can get caught up on basketball.
Mm-hmm. In your heart, in your sports heart, how do you feel these two games are going to play out this evening?
I have no idea with the Avalanche. I have no idea. I feel really good about the Nuggets, and which is weird because my like rule of thumb with the Nuggets has been no expectations. That's been my rule of thumb for this series because I've had no idea what to expect when it comes to that Nuggets Clippers matchup, and yet all of a sudden I feel really good, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I mean, shoot, they just won 2 straight. If Jamal even puts up 25, they win. Just have a good game, Jamal. So feel great about Nuggets. Avalanche, I'm not giving up hope by any means. But I'm really nervous because obviously this one matters. Win or die, win or go home. So I don't know how to call the Avs. I'm curious how you guys are feeling.
How do you feel as a former athlete? How would you have felt if your head coach had been fired right before a playoff run?
Should we all just pack our bags? I mean, are we like we gave up on the season, right? Which I admit that's what I thought the Nuggets were going to do. When two things happen, one of two things is going to happen when you fire a coach, especially with just 3 games left. You're either all going to pack your bags and play in Cabo and start shipping your cars, or you're all going to wake up and be like, hey, 2 really powerful dudes just got fired, and pretty sure I could be next. So you wake up, and that's what the Nuggets did. But, I mean, generally speaking, if I'm being honest, I would think the organization is telling me the season is over.
Yeah. And the way the Nuggets have handled it, though, they're going to be in the second round. They're going to be in the second round if they take care of business and face off with OKC. And at 3 weeks ago, that might have been a just a dream, but they've somehow figured it out. All right, Tyler, thanks for hopping on. We appreciate
it. All right, boys.
Go enjoy tonight. Have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, Berto, real quick. I just thought Dan Tanner did a killer job during that interview. I thought he was fantastic.
Man, listen, look at him just sitting there with his teeth in his mouth, doing nothing.
See you, boys.
Take it easy.
See you, Tyler.
All right, we got to take a timeout. We'll continue with the All Hands Playoff Preview live from number 38 after a timeout on the Altitude Sports Radio Network. Special edition of the Blitz rolls on live from number 38 here in Rhinos. We get you set for both the Nuggets playoff action and the Avs playoff action and all hands playoff preview as we're joined by everyone who actually works here at the station. And we are rejoined right now by the infamous, the famous Darren McKee, D-Mac. When you dropped out there, immediately after making fun of that Dallas Stars fan, I thought he'd come at you, bro. I thought that Stars fan was coming for you, man. Yes.
I had some technical difficulties. We'll never know. He might be after me. You don't know. You gotta be. I'm in a more secure location in the absolute last row of Ball Arena. Nobody can get me up here.
Man, yeah, that was. He turned around with a look on his face, and I was like, I don't know if D-Mac is in a good spot right now, man.
I thought it was going to be with a smile. It might come with a lawsuit. I have no idea. But, we're safely tucked away here. I give you another view of the arena as, as we see everything going on, right? Like nothing. But they're showing, it's just anticipation. You got the pom-poms ready. You got the game on between who we got there? We got, how's my eyesight? Vegas and is this an old game or is this happening now? I don't even know.
You're talking about right now in the NHL?
Yeah,
we got two.
Right.
Yeah, there's two. There's the Leafs and the Senators going on, and the Wild and the Knights. Vegas and Minnesota are tied 1-1. Yeah,
that's what they're showing. They're showing the Knights and Minnesota right now on the.
Yeah, because if the Wild lose this thing, they're out. They're eliminated too. Minnesota has to win to force a Game 7. So
yeah, what do you think? We got four 3-2 series going tonight. That's crazy, right?
Yeah. It's going to be fun. I don't know how many are going to get pushed. Listen, if the Senators push the Leaf to Game 7, that Toronto had a 3-0 lead in that series, man, and it would be in any other team. I would expect them to handle business in Game 7. But the Toronto Maple Leafs are psycho, man. If they blew a 3-0 lead, Ottawa could actually get them in Game 7.
That is crazy.
How you feeling on the Avs tonight? Avs Stars, how you feeling about this thing?
Anxious. It's in part of its history, unfortunately. Just hasn't been great with the Stars and the Avs, let's face it, throughout the years in the playoffs, including last year. But not only last year, I mean, throughout the years, there's been some misery associated with the Stars. But I'll go back to the last game that was here, Berto, and it was one of the better games the Avs have played all year in the 4-0 shutout. So I'll just go back on that, and hopefully they play on that emotion that it will come with a home crowd and some of our more reliable guys like Bal and Kale and hopefully Natchez get it together tonight. That's what I'm hoping for. So I'm anxious but hopeful.
Okay. And on the Nuggets side of things, are you as anxious or more hopeful, or where'd you head at there?
No, they may be like a dead dog like the Suns were a couple years ago. Remember that? When it was 2-2 and then the Nuggets got over on them and then they just blew them out in Phoenix and they just waved the white towel. I think there's a better chance of that happening. And I'm not afraid of the Clippers in Game 7 back here if that happens. So, no, I've got a lot of confidence in the Nuggets. And I think the Nuggets actually finish it off. I think the Avs win 2 here tonight. I do. And then I don't know about Game 7. I think the Nuggets close out this series tonight.
How about this question? Who is the more physical team tonight? The Denver Nuggets or the Colorado Avalanche?
Oh, man, that is a good question. Probably the Avs. The Avs, everything. This is it, man. Come on now. Let's go. This is it. Yeah. So if they're not the more physical team, and don't forget, Jamal Murray scored all those points, Berto, with one free throw, and it was a technical on a take foul. Like, that was – and the Nuggets gave up a ton of points in the paint, not to – bring up some negatives, but it wasn't like the Nuggets were all that physical in the first place. They were just extraordinarily good shooting-wise, so I'll go with the Avalanche on that one.
Are you as surprised as me and Springer have been about how good Gabe Landeskog has looked in these playoffs?
Shocked, and it makes a lot of logical sense just to put him on the first line tonight in the first power play and not really think much about it. Seriously. I mean, that's crazy, right?
Did you just say as shocked as you and I have been, Berto?
Well, listen, man, I'm shocked. I'm
not
shocked.
Do you listen to our own show?
Yeah, sometimes.
I told you that Landy was going to be a factor in these playoffs before this series even started.
Yeah, a factor. Not one of the best players on the team currently, man. He's been a top 3 player for the Avs in the last couple of games? That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
Springer, you're smart. You're smarter than I am, brother. Way smarter. I didn't know if he'd be the better option than Miles Wood going into this, but I mean, we've cleared up those questions, no doubt.
Well, all I did was watch the Eagles games. That's all I did. Yeah. And I know it was the AHL.
Springer, I was at the Eagles game, and I wasn't clear about that.
Well.
Oh, man.
So, but you're smarter and better looking and more handsome.
Thank you. You just what was it? Happy Gilmore-ed me. I'm smart. You're dumb.
You're dumb. You're very attractive. Yeah. I am ugly. Yeah. I haven't heard that in a while, man. In a while. Do you think tonight's game comes down to who's the better goaltender? Do you think McKenzie can put together a game where it doesn't matter how many goals the Avs score? Dallas is going to lose this thing because they can't get back past McKenzie.
It would not surprise me if this is actually a pretty high-scoring game on both goalies. Sometimes when you go one way in a series, there's a game in the series that catches you totally by surprise, right? Mm-hmm. So if tonight was some sort of 7-5 game, that would not surprise me. I'm not hoping for it because it'd be pretty exciting as long as it goes the Avs' way. I just think that, giving up a couple of fluke goals probably got in his head a little bit. But, they battled back to 3-2. Then they gave up that power play goal. Listen, the Ben flop didn't really have anything to do with anything. They were already down by 3 by then. So I think the goaltending is a bit of a push. I know this. I know the players believe in Blackwood. I know that. I know it's not like Forgiev where they were just waiting for that other 4 goals to drop in. So the confidence in McKenzie is really strong, as it is with Ottinger too. So I bet they both go back and forth, and they play pretty well. And even in that 4-0 shutout, Ottinger played pretty well in that game. I mean, that game should have been probably 8 or 9-0.
Mm-hmm. All right, why don't you, before we let you go here at the top of the hour, give us your prediction for both these games this evening. How you feeling?
I'll go 6-3 Avs with an empty netter there to spread the wealth.
Nice.
And I'll go 122, 115 Nuggets. How about that?
I like it. I like where your head's at, man. Yeah, it's good stuff. All right, D-Mac, have a good one. Enjoy this game tonight. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Enjoy number 38. We'll see you guys. And don't forget, Springer is smarter and better looking than both of us.
Yeah, we'll never forget that. All right, D-Mac, thank you very much. We got to continue, take a quick timeout, and roll on with the all-hands playoff preview live from number 38 here. We got Mike Sanford in the house. We're going to hear from Andy coming up as well. We'll get to all that next right here on Altitude Sports Radio. Well, we're getting close, people. We're getting real close. Welcome back to the special edition of the Blitz All Hands Playoff Preview, live from number 38 here in Rhino. We are 47 minutes away from puck drop. We are just about an hour and 15 minutes away from tip-off in L.A., and I am joined by the coach, Mike Sanford, who is here live at number 38. How you doing, Coach?
I am doing really well.
Okay.
You know what? I'm a vibes guy.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're a big vibes guy, too.
I am.
Because you throw out positive vibes, and we're right here at number 38, and if you're listening to the radio right now, wherever you're headed, screech, turn around and get to number 38 because the vibes are good here. And we are going to exercise demons. Because the last time I was here at number 38 was draft night, and it was also Nuggets game 4.
Yeah, Nuggets getting stomped game 4.
Or no, game.
Wait, no. They won game. Wait. They lost. They won game 1 and they lost 2 and 3. And 3 is the one where they got smacked. Yeah.
It was game 3, and it was not good. And the vibes, honestly, were not great here either. I'm going to be real honest. You know, Nuggets picked, or the Broncos end up picking
a defensive player instead of
What's going on?
Yes.
Corner out of University of Texas. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But tonight, Avs are great. The vibes here are great. It's a big Avs crowd here tonight. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about a lot of Avs here. Hey, where are my Avs people at? Let me hear you. Avs people, let's go. They're ready to go. They're ready to go. Kind of get a little bit of a chill crowd, but an Avs crowd.
I am emotionally distraught about both these playoff games because I don't really know how they're going to play out. I usually have a good feel for it. Do you have a feel for how these games are going to play out tonight?
I feel good about the Avs tonight, and I think a lot has been made about home ice or home court not meaning as much as we all think it does. Mm-hmm. I feel like it has meant something in the last couple games, both for the Nuggets and for the Colorado Avalanche. And I think tonight's going to be one of those nights where the Avs know what they have to do. And I think the Avs need to go out there and play the type of hockey they're capable of. And I think it's going to be the big boys down the middle of the ice.
Okay.
That's what I'm looking forward to. I want to see the guys that you went out and you acquired, talking Chris McFarland, you went out and got a Coyle, you got a big fella in Brock Nelson, you got Drury, and then you added the healthy Gabe Landeskog, and then I think tonight's a big night for Val Nichushkin. I want to see the big fellas that muck it up. I want you to be in front of net, and I want you to get posted up and take over Jake Ottinger's blue space and make it all about what's your space.
I've been hearing a lot of Val Nichushkin's name throughout this show about guys saying, you know, I'd like to see Val have a big game. And you're feeling, Spring, you feeling that? Like a choo-choo train game tonight.
I am. So what? He's been breaking sticks at practice because he's
loved it.
Yeah, just
frustrated
angry this morning at skate, bro.
I said it on Between the Pipes after the last loss. I wouldn't mind seeing the Avs just go with their 3 horses on the top line, and that's McKinnon, Landeskog, Nichushkin. They did it.
That's dirty.
When they won a cup, it was McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog. I think Nichushkin is one of their 3 best forwards, Landeskog as well. I want to see them do that tonight. Valeri Nichushkin has been a playoff beast in his career. It's been a little slower for him so far, but, yeah, I think he has a big game tonight. He is a hell of a hockey player.
I agree.
Well, let's get the opinion of our hockey expert joining us now. Probably not mentally stable at all. I don't know if I would want to be around this man for the next 3 hours because how he's going to handle these 2 games is unknown. Let's bring in Andy Lindahl live from his basement. Lindahl, where are you at emotionally right now?
I mean, I'm it's like going to the dentist. And we'll just see what the report is when we're done. How about that?
That's how you're handling these 2 playoff
games?
Gosh,
man. Don't bring those bad vibes in to number 38, Andy. We already had those a week ago.
Look, man, I feel good about the Nuggets. I told Nate, you guys, I mean, again, it's recency bias, right? The Nuggets look great. The Avs didn't. So that's weighing on my emotions about the thing. But look, Berto, I mean, you want to get hockey guy about it. This has been your Goliath. This has been the hurdle you've not cleared. This is a little bit, and we all remember the cup run, Berto, Spring, Mike, I think you might, but the cup run, you had to get past St. Louis, right? Bennington had been a thorn in your side. Well, the Dallas Stars haven't been a thorn, they've been a sword in your side. So I got to see you do it. And the problem is it's not just even, that last game, because I do think that the Avs have been the better team in the series. But You should have won. I think you should have won game 2 and come back with a 2-0 lead. Somebody texted in when I said that on the show earlier and like, no, it should have been game 3. No, in game 2, you had a lead late, and you should have held that lead. And then you ended up losing in overtime. And I just feel like that might be the game you want back, even if this goes 7. I hope I'm wrong. But until I see you beat, in particular, Pete DeBoer in one of these 7-game sets, I'm from Missouri. Show it to me. I think you can, but I've yet to see you do it. Now, I hope we're fixing to do it for the first time. But look, with the Nuggets and Nikola Jokic and the way they played, I think Nikola knows we can't be on vacation like we were last year in Minnesota. We can't just take game 6 for granted because we got game 7 at home. I don't think he's going to let him feel that way. I do think it feels like the illness going around the team is cleared out. Hopefully Nikola feels good. Aaron feels good. Jamal continues to feel, because Jamal was dealing with that cold first 2 games. Man, he was just cold shooting it the other night. If he gets back into that spot, I think the Clippers are probably in trouble because, they're the ones that could start thinking about golf times and Cabo and all that kind of stuff. As for the Avs, I think they should win. But, we saw game 6 against DeBoer in a must-have situation, and you lost 1-0. So we'll see.
Let me ask you guys this. Who's been the better coach in the Nuggets-Clippers series? Because there was some conference. Obviously, you fire Malone right before the playoffs start. David Adelman takes over. I want to know, especially from Coach, how do you think Adelman's looked as the bench boss of the Nuggets through the first 5 playoff games?
I've been really impressed because the word that I've been looking for the Nuggets, either after a devastating Game 3 loss or a triumphant Game 4 victory, I want to see response. And we've seen response from the Denver Nuggets in this series. We've seen response for the entirety of the David Adelman era as the head coach here for the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
And that's probably the most powerful word in sports. How do you respond? And it's not just responding to adversity. Sometimes it's responding to times of when things are really, really good. And what that tells me about David Adelman, if he's able to get professionals that make 20 times, 50 times as much as he makes to be able to respond the proper way, then that means that they trust him. And that means that they're responding to his coaching and that they're taking his coaching. And I think the reason why he is a unique coach, and I believe he is the right fit, particularly if you do win this game tonight and you go move on to the OKC series for the future of the Denver Nuggets, is I think he's genuine, he's authentic, and that's the kind of leader that I think this generation, Gen Z, they look for is they want to see authenticity.
Yeah. Andy, do you think with the report today that Joker's been more vocal than he's ever been before, what do you think that brings to the Nuggets that they didn't have before? A superstar who is now more vocal than he's ever been.
I just think, and I'll lean back on what guys used to say about John Elway. John didn't ask anybody to do anything he wasn't willing to do. And his teammates, and I knew a number of them, would say, well, if he's going to do it, I sure as hell can't say no. I can't. And I think if Joker's telling you what to do, and he's out there with a bum elbow and a bad back and a tough end, then I just think, you got to come along too. It's the raise all boats. And look, you guys are calling him Coachich earlier. I think that was a spring term. I like that.
Trademark, copyright it.
Yeah, you need to get a shirt done before anybody else does it, Spring. That's for darn sure. I'd get on the internet right now. And
I'm tweeting it right now.
Not to be confused with Tony Kukoc. This is a Coachich, not a Kukoc.
Yes.
Old school right there.
And look, man, he's diagnosing, and I guess another reason why I feel good about the Nuggets is, I was talking to Nate about this a couple days ago. They adjusted that entry pass to where it's high now. Nikola was reaching up and catching the pass. He's not catching it down here where hands can get in the way or knock it out of his hands. Because look, I'll be honest with you, we've seen a lot of balls knocked out of his hands, and I think it's a sign that the elbow is in fact bothering him in some ways. I'm not sure we all were laughing about him not ripping the ball away from Adelman in game 1. Well, again, could be a sign he's not totally feeling his strength in his hands because of what's going on with whatever that elbow thing's got going on. So now they've adjusted, let me catch it up here where you can't get it, and they did it all night the other night, and their pick and roll was just feasting. And I think that's, again, something Nikola talks about. Scotty's told the story to all of us today. He knew they were in great shape the other day heading out of the locker room because he was falling out, Jamal and Joker, and they were talking with their hands, talking about how they were going to adjust and what they were going to do. And if your guys on the floor are smart enough to see this and talk to coach about this, it's like having a quarterback that calls his own plays at the line. Why were Brady and Manning so tough to deal with? Why is Mahomes? Because they know what they're looking at defensively. Well, when you get basketball players doing that, and the Clippers have tried everything, it gives you an advantage simply other teams don't have.
Yeah, and I had a chance to listen to your show today, and Krecker and you brought up some really valid points, and it took an entire day to get to this conclusion, but glad I listened to KNL and you guys breaking it down. That really Tyronn Lue he's throwing the kitchen sink in terms of how do you defend Nikola Jokic. Mm-hmm. Every single way that you could possibly defend Nikola Jokic, he's gone to the archives. He's gone to the, blitz him. You get to second body there, sag off and play, in zone. And the key to all of this, and this is a wild statistic, and I know we've talked about it a little bit on some of our shows, Michael Porter Jr., as a guy that didn't have an explosive night, just 3 3-pointers, he was plus 34 on the net crazy. In Game 5. And I think that's because he spaces out the floor, and when he can give you a 3-pointer per quarter, I think I heard you say that when you started this show, 1 3-pointer per quarter, this team's unstoppable. And then you throw in Jamal Murray to it. I think that Michael Porter Jr. has actually been the MVP to me in this series as a coach, somebody looking for somebody's overcoming a lot of odds, and that's how he's feeling.
He can barely raise that left hand over his shoulder.
What he is doing right now, and everybody loves to hate MPJ in this market. Mm-hmm. They love to hate MPJ. That dude is laying it out on the line, and he is putting his body out there because he wants to win. And he wants to see this next series.
Well, I think Nugget fans were just expecting him to be Scottie Pippen or Kevin Durant, but Michael Porter Jr. is Michael Porter Jr. Let me ask you this question. As a coach, what does it mean to you when the best player on your team becomes more vocal? What does that do? How does that help you as a coach?
You know what it is? Sometimes as a coach, and I struggle with this to be really candid, sometimes you got to allow some oxygen for that player to be able to have that voice. And I think about it when you look back at Michael Malone. I think he was coaching his tail off. Mm-hmm. He was out there coaching and finding he was trying to coach every single square inch of that basketball court. But what it was doing is, the more you coach sometimes, the less ability there is for one of your leaders to actually have a voice. And I think that's where David Adelman has been very smart in reading the situation and really, hey, I'm going to let these guys, particularly Nikola Jokic, have some oxygen to be able to have that voice that he needs to have. And guess who's going to respond to it? His teammates. Because that's a stronger voice, a voice that his teammates want to hear, and now they're responding to it.
This is a more sports talk radio question for Andy and Spring, and you can answer this as well. But who do you think the best player from both these games is going to be tonight? If you know what, the best player on the ice, the best player on the court, what Denver player plays the best this evening? Is it McKinnon? Is it McCarr? Is it Joker? Is it Jamal? Is it AJ? Who's the best player tonight?
I'll go first. I'll go Jokic for the Nuggets just because that's Old Faithful. Just never doubt that man. He's the best player in the world. So I'll go Jokic, even though Murray's coming off the great game, and it wouldn't surprise me if Murray you can finally have 2 straight excellent games. But I'll go Jokic for the Nuggets. For the Avs, look, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Cale Makar bounces back. And I thought he had a great game 4. Andy, I know you bring up that he was a 0 on the plus-minus in that game, but he had some great looks in that game. I thought he was dangerous. He's had a little bit of a down series outside of game 4. But I'm going to go Nathan McKinnon for this reason. He was snubbed from being a Hart Trophy finalist today. And
he was.
Much like Michael Jordan, who says he would take that personally. Okay, a guy like Michael Jordan would take that personally. And
he takes it personally right now. Right now, he's like 60 years old. He's still angry about some stuff that happened in the league.
You got to go with Coach Prime, man. You done went out and made this personal.
And if you don't think Nathan McKinnon is of that same DNA, and he saw today, I'm not one of the 3 finalists, I'm going to show you tonight. So I'm going McKinnon.
All right, Andy, what you got, man?
I think it'll be Gabe Landeskog. We heard his quotes. This is all cake for me. Yeah. Now, I don't think he wants it to end, but I think he'll be the most relaxed. I think he'll be the one not gripping the stick. I think he'll be the one. Gabe has not participated in dealing with DeBoer the last 3 years. And whatever the frustrations have been, Gabe's been dealing with his own frustrations, just trying to get healthy to get back on the ice. He's the captain for a reason. And I think he's, and look, I said this earlier, I love Nathan McKinnon, we all do. And I'm sure his teammates love him at their core. I also think he can be, because I've seen it with Peyton Manning, I've seen it with the greats, there's certain guys that it gets a little tough to be the teammate of because they're more intense than you are. They burn hotter than you do, and they live it 24/7. You know, no chickpea pasta, no candy bars, all that kind of stuff. And I think Gabe brings balance to the temperature in the room. And I think it's going to be key. And I think he's going to go lead by example. I think he led by example the other night in Game 4, and I expect he'll lead by example tonight because I don't think there's any way Gabe Landeskog, the Norse god, wants this to end tonight.
Yeah. You got two players that you feeling good about tonight?
Did my man Andy did he give me a nugget?
Okay.
Well, it's hard to go anybody but Jokic because if Jokic isn't your best player, do you really beat the Clippers on the road?
Right.
Is that
you can't
fair?
just pick
If we want to
Vlatko
go
or
not
somebody.
Jokic, you know who I think will be key? I don't know if he'll be the best player, but the guy you almost need to be who he was as close as possible is Russell Westbrook, if you can believe it. Because
that's
he's
a good one.
basically
Yeah.
been your only
Yeah, that's a
bench
good
production, and you can't go over from the bench again.
Yeah, you're right. If Russ comes off and gives you 21 points in 25 minutes like he did last game, you probably win that thing because that's all you need from the bench. That's all you need from the bench. All right, Coach.
Yeah, I got for the Avs tonight. I think it's going to be a bit of a guy that you went out and you acquired for moments like this, and it's without question we know Gabe Landeskog. I love what Andy said about Gabe, and could you imagine if this is the end tonight and what Gabe went through to get back,
right,
and it's over?
Yeah,
I love that.
Just
but
comes to a screeching halt.
When Chris McFarland set out to get more physical and get more playoff hockey, type being strong down the middle, I think tonight's going to be a Brock Nelson night.
Oh,
I think he's going to muck it up. It might not show up in the stat line, but he's going to be a physical presence that's going to have a significant role in this victory tonight. And he knows that he was brought in for this type of a moment. Whether he's a second line, third, who knows? Who knows how all the lines end up playing out? I think Brock Nelson's physicality. And on the Nuggets side, the key for me tonight for the Nuggets, you're probably not going to get a Game 5 type of offensive performance from everybody.
Yeah.
There were heat check players that were hot everywhere for the Nuggets. That's a great thing to have. You know what tonight's about? It's about playing elite defense, hardcore defense. Okay. And I got Christian Brown as my guy tonight.
Ooh, yeah, I like that one
Christian Brown is a defender, getting the ball out in transition, creating opportunities. I think Christian Brown has one of those type of performance. He's been the most consistent Nugget, not named Nikola Jokic, for the entirety of this campaign.
And for the entire regular season,
That's what I'm saying.
The entire year,
I'm saying regular season, Christian Brown was there night in, night out as a defender, whatever it takes offensively and in transition. I think Christian Brown has a big-time night tonight.
All right, Andy, I got one more question before we let you go and let you sweat out these two playoff games. Is your family upstairs? Are they going to leave you alone, man? Because it feels like you might not be the easiest guy to be around during two playoff games.
Look, we've got – now, I understand I'm not stressed about the Nuggets game because you're
just stressed about the Avs.
Well, yeah, because again, you're facing Berto. We in a perfect world, you'd have faced them 2 rounds. Although again, they might have been healthy 2 rounds from now. That's the other problem with this thing,
Miro's
Berto,
almost
is
back.
Yeah. So, I again keep watching what we watched the other night. I'm not worried about the Nuggets, but as we've said on all our shows, there's going to be ugly conversations tomorrow that none of us want to have because we enjoy the makeup of this Avs team. If they lose, and the fans are going to be out for blood, and even though we love watching these guys, again, coaching jobs, player roster makeup, but I don't want to have those conversations tomorrow. I don't want to have those conversations, frankly, Monday. Because, again, I think Chris McFarland went out and created a team that I believe he did all the things he could to make them bigger, to make them tougher, to make them cup-worthy. My family will stay upstairs. The 4 guys that I watched the game with on Saturday, we all made the pact that if they lost earlier in the week, whatever Monday, which they did, all those dudes are showing up. We're all down here tonight. I got 2 TVs set up so we could keep an eye on both. So the superstitions have been made. They're going to be honored. And to be honest with you, the other day, if you want to know how loud I get, my son was filming a video for his Spanish class making a whipped cream and strawberry dessert. And as he was filming it, I told him, get this done in intermission. It bled over into the third period. And when one of the goals was scored, I yelled a naughty word, and it got picked up in his video.
See?
So
and he was like, Donde está la biblioteca? Yeah, and you're freaking out. All right, Andy, thanks for hopping on, man. We appreciate it. Have a good one tonight. Take it easy. Spring, Coach, let me ask you two this final question. What's more likely, the Avs game going into overtime or the Nuggets game going into overtime tonight?
Well, it's easier for a hockey game to go to overtime.
Yeah.
And we've seen 2 already in this series. We did see overtime game 1 for the Nuggets. What if we got double overtime tonight? I mean, as stressed as everybody is, double OT would kill us all, right?
Yes, it would. Coach, what do you think? How you feeling?
Yeah, I heard the blueprint earlier today on Kreckman and Lindahl from Jason Kosmiski about this game. Like 8-point deficit for the Nuggets at halftime, all good. And then start chipping away at it where by the fourth quarter, I think it was like 8 minutes to go, you have a double-digit lead.
Okay.
I love the little path forward from Kos. I think the Nuggets they have an unfortunate repeat of Game 6 a year ago against the Minnesota Timberwolves, where I think they win this game double digits, and they put a stranglehold on this series. I think the Avs very easily could go to overtime, and I don't want to go to overtime. I was in the building. When Gabe Landeskog in Game 3 came back.
Yeah.
I don't want to see overtime. I can't deal with it. I hate you have to look away. Hockey overtime in playoffs is in an elimination game.
Yes. It's super stressful, bro.
It's not healthy for anybody.
Stressful.
You know what? You want to talk about living a sustainable lifestyle? Playoff hockey overtime is not a sustainable lifestyle model.
Not for your heart, not for your blood pressure, not at all. But for Mark Springer and Coach Sanford and the cast of thousands and all the good people here at number 38, thanks for tuning in to our special playoff edition show of the Blitz. We've got ourselves the Nuggets and the Clippers coming up next right here on Altitude Sports Radio.